Oh my goodness, my live stream camera actually worked, y'all. My live stream camera actually worked, y'all. Let's get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. I don't even think I'm not even gonna sit here and say like we got time because we don't. And I'm running a short live stream today. 30-minute live streams. I think that's fair. I want to just start running 30-minute live streams and hopefully we can stay at 30 minutes. If I sneeze, it's because I rub my nose once in the summertime and I'll start sneezing. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a little late night live stream. I don't know what y'all doing, but it's summertime. Y'all should be up. It's Saturday night and I feel all right. I wanted to start this earlier. I did, but I was in the shower. Shower took a little too long, but I was outside all day today, so when you just feel sticky. So I had to go take a shower. So that's why this live stream is happening a little bit later on tonight. It's almost 1 a.m. If you're on the West Coast, you might be able to check out this live stream. But for some reason, I feel like most of my subscribers and viewers, I should really take a poll, like just on the channel, just to see how many people are on the East Coast and West Coast. So I know really when to live stream. West Coast people might be still awake for this, but I understand it's late. I really probably should have done this maybe 2 hours earlier because I really wanted to chop it up and not just leave this as an empty live stream, but I really wanted to chop it up with you guys. But regardless, regardless, we're just going to. Why did I open up YouTube on this page? We're going to talk about a couple of things, but again, we're gonna keep this live stream short since it is late. So I just wanted to throw out there of all the topics going on in the W. I'm going to do a separate live stream for the WNBA and the players rocking the pay us what you owe us shirts and why they are fully entitled to asking for more money. For some reason everyone wants to. The crazy thing about this entire discourse and this entire fiasco around players, the W players asking for more pay, everyone worrying and everyone, I don't want to cuss, but everyone about the W players asking for more pay, they're the same ones that say a low light may happen in the W, and they'll be like, oh, this is why nobody watches the W. They're the same ones to say, this is why no one watches the W. More pay or better pay in the W means that you can pull more talent, means that you can cultivate more talent, means that the game becomes more impressive to you if that's really your concern. Better pay means higher competition. There are already players that don't play in the W just because of overseas commitments and whatnot, and because they feel like they'll get treated better as players outside of the WNBA. And the fact that there are people just like, oh yeah, we shouldn't be playing the players more. Aren't y'all the same ones to say that you want the game? Well, maybe not. You're not saying that you want the game to get better, but you guys are the same ones to insult the game as is and then say they lack skill, lack this, lack that. This is why the game sucks and all that, but you don't want them to get paid more. They get paid more, all levels of the game rise. But people out there are countering or trying to, what's the word? I don't know. Are opposing WNBA players getting paid more when they're fully entitled to get paid more. This is the crazy thing about all of this. Everyone's worried about the W players asking for more pay and or claiming that they should be paid more. But no one seems to have a problem with the NBA consistently cutting the WNBA short in terms of paycheck. What do I mean by that? Check out the media deals the NBA has cut for the WNBA over time. These cuts are damn near 75-25 cuts, 80-20 cuts, 90-10 cuts. These are could have been records cuts. These are could have been records contracts. These are could have been record audition contracts. 99% for us, 1% for y'all. These are horrible cuts, horrible media deals that the NBA has consistently given the WNBA. And no one's like everyone's. Let's see, it's kind of hard not to cuss when you're trying to. Everyone's crashing out about WNBA players asking for more pay, but y'all have no problem, not even a hint, not even a thought goes towards the how the NBA has been hoeing the WNBA for time now and is still trying to do it because more pay cutting the WNBA players a bigger check or a bigger salary shouldn't be such a problem if you actually care about the W. And what's crazy to me is that the NBA has done this multiple times since the WNBA has been in existence. I believe the NBA was well intentioned with the W. They wanted the W to grow to the same heights as the NBA, as the MNBA. I believe the NBA had good intentions when they created the W. But what I think happened is they allowed the American way to get a hold of how they treated the WNBA. And I think instead of trying to grow the W in the way one would grow an investment or protect an investment, they decided to use that investment as a write-off, which is why we're back here in the same round of negotiations for WNBA players, because this has happened multiple times. People aren't paying attention to the timeline of the NBA as a company and the WNBA, because think about this. This is the storyline that people really aren't following. The NBA created WNBA, right? Obviously, it was going to be a subsidiary of the NBA's parent company, W's subsidy. When the W started, everything was going. Like the trajectory of the WNBA, everything was going. Numbers were up, attendance, viewership, even with the wacky way the schedule was set up and the lack of phone screens and smartphones, even then viewership was up, attendance was up, merch was up, attention was up for the W. And I believe this is how it went for the NBA. And I'm not just throwing this out as a claim or I'm going off of how the NBA has acted and the cuts the NBA has made. I'm going off of the decisions the NBA has made. Basically how they behave towards the WNBA. This is how I think it played out. The NBA made the WNBA with good intentions of growing the WNBA to be as big as the MNBA, right? But the NBA saw that, this thing's getting attention, it's getting sales, it's getting ticket sales, it's getting audience. It already has an audience that's booming. It's already got all this stuff, and we just started. So the NBA, instead of saying, you know what, let's go ahead and throw more resources into it. Look at the trajectory it's already on. Let's go ahead and throw more resources onto it. Instead of the NBA doing that, they said, okay, it's growing by itself. We don't have to do anything. Right? What happens to the W? Viewership starts to go down. Attendance starts to go down. And my argument, argument I would make is because the NBA decided not to continuously pour more resources onto the W is the reason why the W started trending downwards, right? Nonetheless, W's attention goes down, ticket sales going down, audience is going down, viewership is going down, engagement is going down, right? And the NBA is faced with the decision. Pour resources back into the WNBA, which is basically what you should have done, even when the trajectory was still going up. That's what you should have done. Pour the resources into the W. It's going to be a bigger pile of resources, obviously, because now we got to get this thing to shoot back up again. So pour resources back into the W, save the W so that it stops going on a snowball slant all the way down, right? We can pour resources into the W now. This era, this time frame, I think is about when viewership dropped, which was around maybe 5, 8, maybe 2000. 2005. Well, Shock were there, so maybe about 2006, 2009. It went through a couple of spurts with DT, Candace Parker, and so maybe when it dropped around like 2006 to 2009, right? I can't remember the exact time frame, but the NBA, I believe that's when they cut a media deal for the W. Then I believe it was around that time. It was that $50 million a year deal for the W. I believe that's when that deal was cut around that time frame. So the NBA is faced with the decision: pour resources into the W, or just no, sorry, pour resources into the W was one of the decisions, or use the W because it's a subsidy. Use the W as a tax write-off. Use it as a write-off to say, oh, this is something that we put, it's a subsidy. We're treating it like a charity, whatnot. We give money to this. This is basically our baby that we raised, right? It's our subsidy. We pour money into this. So the two decisions they had was use this, pour the resources that you should have been pouring into the W, or use it as a tax write-off. The NBA, I believe, which started well with good intentions for the W, had that breaking point really, where they should have put the resources into the W. They should have done that from the beginning, regardless of the trajectory the W was on. They should have done that from the beginning. They were faced with that decision again, and they decided to go the route of using the W as a tax write-off. Now, fast forward to where we are now. WNBA players opt out of their CBA contract. Obviously, we all saw that coming. But now the NBA is faced with the same exact decision. You have all the numbers going right back up for the W. The W is almost in a place where they're breaking records that they set at the beginning, when at the beginning around 97, and through those years of the Lisa Leslie, the Cynthia Coopers, well, not Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Coopers, Tina Thompson, they're doing numbers. The W's doing the same numbers now that they were doing at the beginning. That's great, and also breaking some of those records at the beginning. So the engagement is higher, the viewership is higher, your ticket sales are shooting through the roof, really. So you're at a place in the W where the stock is shooting back up. There's almost no reason for one to be like, oh, this is a bad time to invest in the W. Absolutely not. It's one of the best times to invest in the W. So here the NBA is faced with this decision again. Pour resources into the W, or continuously hold them, use them as a tax write-off. So when the W players say, yo, pay us what you owe us, they're basically saying, pay us and stop hoeing us. Because the NBA can make a decision right now to pour the resources into the W, which is what they should have done the very first time the W took off. They can make that decision now. They can actually start to support the W in the way that they should have been at the beginning. But I think they're so in too deep with using the W as a tax write-off that they're so hesitant on paying the players more, because again, the system they've created with the W now has been using them as a write-off. $50 million a year on a media deal lets me know you're not serious about your league. Understand this: $200 million, the new media deal that the NBA cut for the WNBA, which was $2.2 billion over 13 years. That's about $200 million a year. Do y'all understand that's breadcrumbs to the W? That's a low ball offer for the W. 2.2 billion. Yes, is it better than what they have now? But think about this. If your new deal is considered better than what you have now, and that new deal is still breadcrumbs, what does that current deal you're on mean? What does that current deal you're on look like? If your new deal is breadcrumbs, like your current deal was grains, and that's basically what it was. That was $50 million a year. That's grains for a league. That's grains. So you can't say you're serious about building this league, or you can't say that you actually care about the league. Like, to me, it's like the NBA is out of excuses. The NBA is out of excuses, because how can you have everything going the W's way again, by the way, for the second time, and not even for the second time, for the first time, because they're breaking the records of the first time, and they're doubling those records. They're blowing those records out of the water. So you have the W what excuse do you have to not say, you know what, let's throw the resources into this now? The only excuse I believe the NBA could have is that they're in too deep, as in they're in too deep with using the W as a write off. That's the only thing I could think about, because what investor sees that their stock is shooting through the roof and says, you know what, I'm gonna put less into this stock, unless they believe that this thing's about to crash, like just fall overnight. They're probably going to put even more into that stock. They're probably going to buy even more shares of that stock. You see what I'm saying? No one sees their stock shooting through the roof and says, you know what? I'm gonna put less. I'm gonna give me less. You see what I'm saying? So I think the NBA is again just in too deep with using the W as a write off. And here are the W players saying, "Yo, you owe us this money," and that is facts. A lot of people are trashing the W players for saying that, but it's facts. The NBA owed them that from the beginning, from '97. So now that the players are asking for it, like what, the players aren't making sense, and for everyone raging against the players again for asking for more money, why? More money helps the game grow. More money helps the game get better. Money is a resource. You use that resource, like you have athletes, professional athletes making less than some janitors. That's not to say janitors shouldn't be well paid, but they're professional athletes. They have to physically use their bodies to make a living. And you got them making less than some people make at desk jobs. Trainers cost more than that for a professional athlete. They don't even have enough salary to buy a nutritionist or buy a cook. And it's not like a lot of these teams have their own practice facilities where they have like on hire cooks or daily cooks that could get them breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all that good stuff. It's not the same. So for people raging against the W players asking for more money, I don't get y'all. It just seems like people are cussing just to cuss, or just don't want to see W players win just to not see them win. It's weird. It's a really weird sentiment, but that's what I have to say about like this entire NBA, WNBA. It's just the NBA trying to hold the W again, and I just don't see why. I don't understand why the NBA is so hell bent on holding the W. I really don't. Again, the only thing I could think of is just because they don't want to mess up the system that they've built for like the last 18 years. They don't want to mess up the system that they built for the last 18 years. That's my only guess. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, we're gonna keep this live stream a little short, keep it around 30 minutes. But I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter earlier today, and I dropped a tweet on Kita Live Sports, Kita Love Sports. Shouts out to Kita Love Sports. Again, if you don't know her YouTube channel, just follow her, Kita Love Sports. It's everything WNBA women's basketball related. Again, it's damn near the only women's basketball channel I follow. So give her a shout out. Shouting out Keto Love Sports, give her a follow, like up her content, all that good stuff. And I responded to one of her tweets where she said she thinks Jewel Lloyd, talking about the Aces here, but she thinks Jewel Lloyd should be benched and Dana Evans should get the starting spot. Now you already know how I feel about the Aces. I saw the downfall coming. But my piece of advice was that they needed a five to get the stress off of Asia. But as you can see, their backcourt is struggling because Jewel Lloyd is. I don't think Jewel Lloyd is focused. You know what I'm saying? She's she over there in South Bend trying to bend something. You know what I'm saying? Yo, oh wait, no, that don't even play for something. That don't even play for Notre Dame anymore. Jewel's mind is in Miami. Let's just leave it at that. I think Jewel's mind is in Miami. So the backcourt situation for the Aces hasn't been good, and I think they're really feeling Kelsey Plum's absence now. They're really feeling Kelsey Plum's departure now. I was going through the stats on I was going through WNBA stats, and I saw that in the past 3 years, the Aces in terms of 3-point makes, they were always top five. 3-point percentage, they were always floating around top six, top five, top three. 3-point attempts, they were up there with the Liberty, as y'all know, because they were running things for like 2 years. They were always up top in terms of 3-point percentage, 3-point makes, 3-point attempts. I looked at their stats this season. They're 11th in 3-point percentage and eighth in 3-pointers made per game. So I think, and in some of these games they're getting blown out, yes, but some of the games are kind of contested, losing by 10, 8 points and all that stuff. I think they're feeling the lack of 3-point prowess that Kelsey Plum gave them. So keeping that in mind and agreeing with Keita Love Sports saying that Jewell Loyd needs to be benched, I made the argument I think Aaliyah Nye needs to get that starting spot over Dana Evans. And how I tried to explain it was Dana Evans, one, you got Chelsea Gray still running the point guard position. Yes. Keita Love Sports basically told me she basically said that I don't think Aaliyah Nye has the experience to give consistent production as a starter. And I was just like, that's the exact point. She's not going to get the experience if she just sits on the bench, right? So there are reps available if Jewell Loyd is going to continuously playing like this. And if consistent production, and I said this, if consistent production is a thing or is a worry or is an objective, you're not getting that with Jewell Loyd anyway, right? So we agree on the fact that I think Jewell Loyd should be on the bench, but I'm struggling to understand why would we want to start Dana Evans. Dana Evans is not shooting, even though it's close, Dana Evans is shooting around, Aaliyah Nye is shooting around 39% from the field, 36% from three. Aaliyah's averaging about 6, 1 and 1 in 17 minutes. Dana Evans is averaging 18 minutes, about 6, 1 and 2 on, hopefully I'm not getting my numbers right, but I think it was drop 3 on 36% shooting from the field 30, 38, 39, 36. Yeah, on 36% from the field and 33% shooting from 3. So Dana Evans isn't really a perimeter sniper, as we know. And I'm just trying to understand. I was just thinking, I don't think the change is going to come from Dana Evans starting. Because what are you going to do? Put Chelsea Gray at the 3? I mean, she is kind of point forward-ish where she does kind of run the 3 and has to guard the other team's 3. So I can see that happening. But it's the 3-point shooting, even though it's just one of their problems, right? It's the 3-point shooting that the Aces lack. So why not have Aaliyah Nye, who's not a bad perimeter defender, and I believe her defense is going to get better as she gets more reps, just as much as her play is going to get better as she gets more reps. So why not have Aaliyah Nye pick up those reps, pick up those minutes from Jewell Loyd? Aaliyah Nye could definitely cash you out for at least 2 threes a game. If that's her role, if her role is 3 and D, as a 2 guard, look, you're going to be guarding the other team's 2. You're going to be guarding the other team's point guard. We've seen her do a decent job of that. And in my opinion, she's probably going to do that better than Jewell Loyd. Cash out maybe 2 or 3 threes a game. Allow spacing on the floor for the starting 5, especially for A'ja Wilson in the post. Give Chelsea Gray an extra target to pass to with Jackie Young, Aaliyah Nye on the floor. You build Aaliyah Nye's confidence. She becomes a regular player in the starting 5. If she gets relegated to the bench, she still has that confidence that she can run with the starters and now run with whoever's on the court. Why not give Aaliyah Nye those reps? There's so much upside to giving Aaliyah Nye those reps. I don't see how Dana Evans in the starting 5 helps that. You're introducing maybe a better perimeter defender than Aaliyah Nye, but definitely not a better shooter than Aaliyah Nye. Maybe no. Dana Evans is definitely a better slasher than Aaliyah Nye, a better slasher and a maybe better perimeter defender. But I'm pretty sure you can put Aaliyah Nye on more defensive coverages than you can Dana Evans. Dana Evans is really going to stick with the 1s, maybe a little bit of the 2s, but I believe you can put Aaliyah Nye on the 1, 2, and maybe 3, and sometimes 3, and she can hold her own. Right. So I just don't see how Dana Evans would help the Aces starting lineup. They got a lot of problems already. Again, they still don't have a 5. But it's Aaliyah's not. I feel like it's Aaliyah Nye's time to enter the starting lineup because Jewel isn't. If the focus is playoffs for the Aces, Jewel isn't cutting that. She's not unless she turns around her hooping and actually starts hooping like Jewel Lloyd. She's not. She's not cutting that for the Aces. So I do think Jewel Lloyd needs to be benched, and I think Aaliyah Nye needs to get that starting spot. So just continuing that that Twitter conversation with Keela Love Sports, that's what I think needs to happen in terms of the Aces. Now, having 5 more minutes left on this live stream, I want to talk about one more thing. Because if you saw the news earlier this week, you saw that Emma Mieseman is signing with the New York Liberty. Knowing what we know now, I will say you might want to give GM Jonathan Kolb, executive GM, MVP, MVP, head coach of the year. Y'all might most improved player might want to give that man, and you might want to give him the All-Star MVP too. You might want to give him all the awards in the W at this point because Stewie in today's game against the Sparks, which we lost for no reason, because Stephanie Talbot wants to back up in the post. Why are you playing defense in the post and backing up? You're already under the hoop and you back up. Anyway, I'm off that. I'm not even going to do no game reviews today. But Stewie did leave the game with an apparent injury. I missed it, but I heard Stewie only played 4 minutes and basically limped off the court or whatever. That's what I heard. So if GMK sign Emma Mieseman and we're about to lose Stewie for who knows how much time, this man is a GOAT. This man might just be vision. It's an insane move if that's going to be the case. However, with everyone healthy, I will say that I was kind of like, I know that's this man's job and he's doing a hell of a job because this, like I said, Jonathan Kolb deserves all the awards in the world because what he did, what he's doing with New York, that man is clutching at every turn, yo. He just pulls W's out the hat like nothing. He's actually killing it as GM, yo. He might be the best player on New York. Shit. What he's doing is insane. But there was a piece of me that was just like, Emma Mieseman to New York. It's like, as someone who wants the New York Liberty to run it back to the finals and see if we can actually win a chip on our own volition, if you will, I want like a certified championship. But if we're stacking the deck, now I'm like, now I'm not gonna know if we're I'm not going to know if we're really if we're truly the best team. You feel me? Like the additions that we have are great. Yes, we're going to be a top tier team, but if we stack it, like bringing Emma Mieseman been killing for the past couple of years overseas. If y'all don't know, she's still playing at an MVP level. Fenner is probably marked to win every time as long as she's going to be on the team. And she, of all teams she decides to sign with, she decides to sign with New York. Like, damn, I low-key wanted to see her come back to DC, but I get that probably wouldn't work anyway. But still, there are other teams that could use an Emma Mieseman, and she signs with New York. So now I'm just like, all right, are we stacking the deck? Because one thing I'm not going to be is an inconsistent fan of my team and of the WNBA. If I got on the Aces for stacking the deck, I have to get on the Liberty for stacking the deck. You feel me? Because I wasn't really a fan of the Candace Parker Las Vegas move. I saw what that was, but still. But now it's like, here we are, damn near already. I wouldn't even. Are we a super team? Sure. Sure, I guess. Leo makes us a super team, by the way. Not Lionel Messi. Leone Phoebus makes us a super team, by the way. It's Leo that makes us a super team. But now we're stacking the deck with damn near the best overseas player and another WNBA Finals MVP. To me, it's slightly weak. Not even slightly. It is kind of weak. 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 This shit kind of weak. If we sign Emma Mieseman, bro, it's weak. And oh my gosh, I think we already did sign her. Fuck. I think we already did sign her. But it's like I wanted to see if we can get like a chip, like if we can run it back. You know what I'm saying, and actually get one, and actually get one. You know what I mean? Like same squad, run this shit back. I want to see who's better. We don't even get the thanks to WNBA scheduling. We don't even get to see Lynx versus Liberty for another four days. Thank you, WNBA scheduling. I have to wait 2 months to see Lynx versus Liberty again, and then who knows who's even playing in it. We're probably not even gonna have Stewie. Anyway, like I said, I feel like we should be okay even without Stewie because Loki Stewie has been giving us more defense than she's been giving us offense. Out here missing point blank layups again. It's just I say, why isn't Stewie considered for MVP? Because Stewie don't even be they don't even look like Stewie be trying half the time, bro. Anyway, I just wanted to see us run the shit back with our squad, with the squad that we have, the additions that we have. Cool. I just wanted to see us run that back against the Lynx. I really wanted to see how we look against the Lynx, just with the OG squad. But now if we're chasing after Emma Mieseman again, that's GMK's job. He's doing a great he's doing a great job being a GM, being an exec, being the head coach, being the MVP player that he is. But I just think it's kind of like why do we feel the need to go get Emma Meesterman? For what? Unless the Lynx were trying to get her, why do we feel the need to go get Emma Meesterman? On any other team, she not clapping us. On any other team, she not clapping us. She could go to ATL. She not gonna do nothing there. She could go to Seattle. She not gonna do nothing there. That's going to warrant us having like more competition outside of the Lynx. There's no other team she could go to that would put I believe that would put that team over the top in terms of us. She could go to the Aces. I still don't think they're good enough to beat us fully healthy. You feel me? So it's just like, why do we feel that? I just think that's weak. I'm always of the mindset of like, I have that Jordan mindset, yo, where it's just like, yo, listen, we're winning this thing with or without you. I don't care. We're winning this with or without you. We don't really need you. Or maybe that's the Draymond mindset. Maybe that's not Jordan. Maybe that's the Draymond mindset. Listen, we don't really need you. Like we don't really need you. So if you want to come here, cool. If not, bet see you on the other side of the court. It kind of ruins that back to back title run, and I especially want to see it's queuing up to look like Lynx versus Liberty. Yes, we still got to figure some shit out because our play style, the offense we were running, the defense locks in. The defense can sharpen like whenever we want to. So it's good to see that the defense is a switch. That's good. But the offense has gotten super wacky ever since the start of the season. So they expect the film breakdowns on that soon. But I just wanted to see us like run it back again, OG squad. See if we could get one really with the squad that we had. Because that first one, yes, I believe that first one is tainted. Not because it was our fault, but it's just tainted. You know what I mean? Like we didn't get that one. We didn't really clutch that one. Who knows what would have happened? But the first one is just tainted because yeah, you know what I mean. Shit felt handed to us. So that's how it feels for me. Shit felt handed to us, and I don't like winning like that. I don't want no handout. I don't want no pity trophy. You know what I mean? I want to like actually earn that shit and say like, yo, yeah, I earned that. Like we earned that. I don't want no pity trophy because the shit did feel like this shit was handed to us. So that's all gonna do it for this live stream. We covered 3 topics. On next live stream, we're gonna cover even more because I do have a lot to catch up with the W. So I appreciate y'all checking out the live stream. Those of you that were in here, I know it's late. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everyone who's gonna check out the live stream even after it closes down. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna click on it like a regular video. I appreciate all of you, my new viewers, my current viewers, my same subscribers. Y'all take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday night. Whatever y'all doing, stay cool because it's hot as hell out. Boy, it's hotter than fish grease out here. But until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Take care, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.